Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing? Alrighty, how are we doing? What's up, Marco? How are we doing?
Who else is in here?
Let's see.
We got Michael Drums.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Well, I know this is a little different for y'all. We decided to do a little switch up, so we're gonna introduce ourselves. Do you wanna go first?
Yeah, I'm Halen.
And I'm Ava. We are two of the employees that work here at House of Blades. And we're so excited to be joining y'all tonight. Alrighty, let's see. What are we gonna do? Do you wanna start with our pocket checks?
Yeah, sure.
Alrighty, do you wanna go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I got two things on me, that's it. I have the Hit and Release Cobra Tech. See if you can see. There we go.
Ooh, she got it engraved with her.
And then I got my tactical. It's got a little patina going on there.
It's looking good. I need to get one of those.
I've
been meaning to get a tactile turn. They're awesome. Yet to get one. Okay, for me, let's see. I got my Civivi McKenna. I got this one. Let's see. About, if it'll focus. There we go. I got this guy when I first started working here. That was like 4-ish years ago. So this has been my old reliable for like a long time. And then in that same pocket, I got a Kershaw Leak with a partial serration. I beat this guy to death. As you can tell, it's pretty worn. Love this guy, this is a good one. And then, I'm gonna back up a little bit. I am a fixed blade carrier. I love a good fixed blade. This is a silver stag right here. It has a leather sheath and a stag handle. Real nice. D2, made in the US, I believe Washington, right? Washington?
I think so.
Yeah, these guys are made in Washington. Real nice. Great skinning knife. And then I have
Just one more.
one more. I know there's a lot. I'm gonna back up a little bit. Black sheath. This is an Anza right here. Same thing, D2 steel. It's got micarta handle. These guys are super thick. Love them. It's a great pry bar. I don't have a pry bar, but I love using it as well. Alrighty. Hi y'all. Thanks for joining. What's up, Jared?
Don't worry, I'll get one. Maybe soon. Maybe.
We do need to get a read. We're working on it, okay? We're working on it. Alrighty. Let's look. Hi, Susie. Yes, it is a beefy blade. This guy, I dropped it on concrete, didn't chip. So if you need a heavy duty knife, Anzas are the way to go for sure. Alrighty. Sam and Quinn. So Sam and Quinn, they'll be back. Don't worry. We're just kind of mixing things up. They'll be coming back. We decided to do a little different. Decided to show you more House of Blades people. Don't worry. They'll be back. Alrighty. Hey, Chris, we were gonna get a Chris Reach, just wait. Alrighty?
One day.
One day.
One day.
Alrighty, so we're gonna jump into the knives that we have to show y'all. We have a few laid out for y'all. Alright, let's see. Do you wanna grab that one for me?
What you got? You got the track.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alrighty, while Halen's grabbing that track for me, I'm gonna show y'all this guy right here. is a fixed blade. We decided to show y'all some fixed blades, you know, because fixed blades need love. These are the new Leathermans. This is the track. Real pretty, real nice. Magna Cut steel. This guy is jet black micarta. I mean G10, not micarta, sorry, I misspoke. This is a G10 with Magna Cut steel. Real nice. They're made in the US too. Leatherman just released a bunch of them. They're super sweet. You should come check them out. And this guy comes with this sheath. You can carry it kind of like how I do the one on my back. It's all leather and it has a Kydex insert, so it like snaps into place real nice, doesn't move a bunch. These guys are super, super, super great. Alrighty, I'm gonna set this guy back here for y'all. We have another one that Halen's gonna show y'all. This guy right here is the Leatherman Pioneer.
Okay, so this is the Pioneer. It is also Magna Cut, as well as that other one. It is the G10 handle on there as well. It's pretty nice. It's got a nice little shape and a cut to it.
Super pretty.
And then here's that sheath. What?
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, both of these are going to be $299.95. That's their price.
So it's got that kayak on the front and then the back. It is a vertical carry, unlike the other one is horizontal.
Oh, let's see. Alrighty. And now we have some new ones. I don't know if we've ever done any of the Acostas on here. We have some Acostas that we're going to show you that are super, super cool.
First?
Let's see. We have this one. This guy right here. This is the Duo Desk Point. This guy right here. Super, super nifty. And I'm about to show you a really cool trick that it does. Boom. Comes apart.
You got two blades and it's scissors on there.
You could make it scissors or whatnot. I mean, I think it would be cool to have on like your desk. It'd work out. And it also comes with this nifty little stand too. This guy's gonna be $134.99. The steel's 420J2. Super cute. You know, you just kind of set it right here, put it on your desk. Be a nifty little knick-knack you can use and also look at. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see. Alrighty, and our next one that we have is gonna be this Delos that Taylor's gonna show you. Let's see. This guy, look how pretty the handle is.
So it's got that Damascus blade on there. Just the front. So you can see that. Can you see that? The Damascus? Maybe? Sort of. A little bit. It also has that dark matter blue. That's what that's in there. Show it one more time.
And what's that? Yeah, this guy's gonna be $472.49. Nice. Let me see. Since we can really see it on the camera, that's kind of what the Damascus looks like. It's these cool little spirals. They're super nice. Beautiful, beautiful.
It's the ProTech.
Ooh, we have some pretty cool ones already. What's this? This is the Cambria or Cambria.
Cambria.
Let me get y'all a better flick. Boom. Alrighty, these guys are super duper nice. Love them. We just got these in not too long ago. Try to see if you can see this pretty little thing we got going on here. Super nice little button. This guy right here is going to be $280 on the dot. This is Magna Cut and it has an aluminum body. It has a super nice weight to it, real snappy, and the clips nice too, if you can see. I'm definitely thinking about picking one of these up. I think this is going to be like my big girl purchase for when I get one. I've been looking at a good ProTech, so I think this is the one that I might be doing. And then
the next ProTech, it's a Runt 5. It's pink. It's got that aluminum pink handle there. The steel on it is 20 CV. And that price is right at $165.
And it's pink. We thought it would be kind of nifty to show off a pink.
It is automatic too.
That is sweet. Those are so pretty cool. Alright. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. Also, don't be afraid to drop like a little question or a comment. We're here to interact with you. We would love to get to know y'all and see what y'all type of questions y'all have. So let's see. We do have a little something different that we're going to be doing on the live with y'all. We decided to do a little Q&A. We thought it would be fun to get to know us, you know? So we have some in here in this little lovely little red Solo cup. We're gonna draw from them and answer them live. Let's see. Would you like to go first? Pick one.
Sure. Did I grab two? Oh, that's one.
Hi y'all, thanks for joining. We're so excited y'all are here.
Okay, this one's a good one.
Ooh.
What's your knife ick?
Ooh. Let's see. Knife ick. Do you have a good one? I've been thinking, you know, what I don't like, I'm thinking is, I know people, I might get flamed for this. I'm not a huge fan of like the Warncliffe blade. So it's kind of like the runt that we saw once that curved downish. I'm not super big fan of them, but I know a bunch of people love them. That's just kind of not my favorite. What about you?
What is my knife ick?
Kind of putting us on the spot. This is kind of
Tip down carry. Yeah, that's a good one. When it's not a reed.
When it's not a reed.
Goodness.
The Shiros are nice, Jared. They are nice. I like a good Shiro.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I really don't know.
I'm not a big fan of the lanyards either.
Yeah.
I know that's probably another thing I'll get flamed for. Not a big lanyard person.
Oh, whenever you buy a boot knife, like a good boot knife to keep in your boot, but the clip on it just messes up the boot. I don't like that. Like it just scratches the leather on it. Yeah.
I've had a few pairs of boots get torn up from a good boot owner, so let's see. Oh, I draw. Let's see. If you could give advice to another person getting into knives, what would you tell them?
I would probably tell them to, honestly, I would go for steel first. Find something that has a good steel.
Yeah, let's see. There's a lot. I think one thing is it's okay to start at the very bottom. You know, like you don't have to go with a Chris Reeve or a Shiro when you first start getting into knives, you know. I mean, that's a really big jump. I feel like working your way up is definitely like, get yourself a good Kershaw or a Buck. Those are really good first starter knives, you know, to start out with.
Question number 3.
I don't think Jared agrees with us, but that's okay.
Okay. This one is a little, kind of like the other one. What's your starter knife recommendation for someone who's clueless?
Well, I feel like I just said so.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I definitely think it would be like a Kershaw. Kershaw is a good way to start because they have kind of the lower ones and then they have kind of the higher ones as well.
Yeah, I would go with Kershaw. Kershaws are good. Bucks are really good. I think for people who aren't too familiar with like the assisted versions where you like use the flipper, Bucks, the back locks, the ones that you just pull and snap into place, those are really nice too. Kind of makes you aware of the blade and like what's going on. Civivi's also a great brand too.
Yeah.
They're pretty good starter knives. I think
They are.
I think it all just kind of depends on your comfortability, you know?
The person, your price range, things like that.
Hand size. I feel like there's a lot that goes into knives that a lot of people don't think about. So I think it just kind of depends on the type of person you are. Let's see. Lanyards on slip joints? Yes. Flippers? No. Okay, that's something I can get behind. I agree, high tide EDC. You know what? Yeah, slip joints do deserve a good lanyard. I could agree with that. You think?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're not big?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not really big onto lanyards in general. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You know, Jared, tip up life? No, that's a little scary. That's a little scary. You know how many times you can stab yourself? Tip down. Alrighty. If you had to describe yourself as a combination of 3 emojis, what would they be? While we're thinking of this, y'all in the chat also put in the 3 emojis you'd be. I'm curious to see.
You know what? I think you should describe me as 3 emojis, and I should describe you.
Yes, I like it. Let's see if anybody else has some in the chat. I'm thinking, really not at all. Carry something from Kershaw, Civivi, Nafs. Ooh, Nafs is a good one. I like that one. Boker. Yes, that's a good one. See, High Tide EDC is bringing in some good comments. I like it. I like to see it.
What's a good butterfly knife? I feel like if you're very first starting off with butterfly knives, if you want to go all in and get that live blade, go for it. But I have noticed that for starters, Boker has held up like pretty okay. They don't loosen on you really fast. They don't get too tight on you. So.
And the Flytaniums, they just showed, I think Quinn and Sam just showed some a few lives ago. Those guys are pretty nice for their price range. They're like 65-ish, if I can remember. They're nice. They're super duper smooth when you're flipping them. Aluminum.
Yeah,
so that's a good one.
Are good. Yeah.
That's a good one to get into.
Yeah.
Squid industry trainers, yes, that's a good one too. I actually have a squiddy myself. Love it. I've learned a lot of cool little tricks with it. Squid industry is pretty good. Thank you, David, for that. That was a good input. Now, back to if I had to describe you as 3 emojis, I think I would do like the sparkle one, like that one
like the 2
emoji.
stars?
Yes, the sparkly emoji. And then I would do the laughing, like giggling emoji, because I feel like we're always giggling.
We still get work done though.
We do.
We are. We're good workers.
But I think as a community, like us, the House of Blades family, we're all super duper close. It's just nice working. So we always have a good vibe going on. So there's always a good giggle at work. And I think probably the smile emoji too.
The smile, like the really big grinning one?
Not the really big, just like the nice one. Haylen's really nice to customers. I feel like I always see her being very positive to customers. So I would go with those 3,
Mhm. I think for you, I would choose the frog emoji.
Oh, I love it. Why? Can we put input into why?
Well, if you were to think of frogs, you would think of
gross.
No. Like frogs. Like, how do I explain this? Like they're always kind of like
jumpy,
and they talk a lot.
Oh,
in the nicest way possible.
I do talk a lot. It's one of my faults. I know.
I love you for that. But
I like the frog. You know what?
The frog. Maybe the emoji that's like that one, or it's like the half face.
Like the saluting?
Yeah, have you seen that one?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll say that one.
Elaborate.
I think you just give me those kind of vibes. Like there's times where we're talking and you're just like, yes.
Oh,
things like that.
Very cut to the chase. Very cut to the chase.
Yeah?
Let's get work done. Yes.
And what's the last one? Maybe like the 2 hearts one.
The 2 hearts?
Yeah.
Like the spinning one?
No, the ones that are like heart and then a smaller heart.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's see. It's your turn.
Okay.
Yes, thumbs up for the algorithm, please. 3 emojis. That's funny.
What's the most ridiculous thing someone has ever asked you about knives? I don't think any question is ridiculous.
The most ridiculous question? Jared, we are going to do our quizzing duties, don't worry. Let's see. The most ridiculous thing someone's ever asked me about knives. I know I've had questions of like which knife is the best to harm somebody. Not in the sense of like hurting, but like self-defense. I just think a lot of people sometimes have a hard time getting across like, hey, what's a great knife for self-defense?
Yeah.
Like, what's a great knife that's gonna hurt somebody?
That is very true. I've had a lot of people ask me that.
That's not a great question to ask a knife salesperson. What's a good knife to hurt somebody?
Which I get it. You need self-defense, but
go double edge, Tanto.
Yep.
Switchblade, something
things like
sharp, you know. Ooh, plastic handles on the bench blades, another ick. You know, I could kind of argue with that a little bit, only because if you're like using it, I mean, I feel like plastic is kind of icky, but sometimes it can be reliable, you know?
Asked American-made knife, good steel for under $30. Yeah, sorry, but that's not happening. That's a good one.
Jared asked, what's a good American-made knife, good steel for under $30? Hate to break it to ya. Nothing much.
That is a crazy question.
Yeah. I mean, if you find one, Jared, let us know. Drop it in the comment section, and we'll let everybody know. What's a knife I don't have to sharpen is the one I got. What's a knife I don't have to sharpen is the one I got.
Is one I got.
Is one I got. What do you mean by that, Ruben?
That's what he's been asked before, and that's
Oh, that
his-
makes more sense.
Yeah.
Sorry.
that's a question he's been asked before.
Oh.
Yeah, that one.
What's a knife I don't have?
They
to
all
sharpen?
have to be sharpened.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good one. I understand. Is it sharp? David asked. Is it sharp? No. None of
Yeah,
them
no.
are sharp.
No.
Yes, they are. Even the knives that we display in the cases are very sharp. We do get cut.
Even the ones that are like $10, they're
Yes,
sharp.
they do. Don't underestimate a cheaper end knife. They sometimes cut the worst, okay?
Yeah.
Let's see. What's a knife trend you love and one you think needs to go away? You know, a knife trend I'm starting to like is like the shark lock. Dimco.
Yes,
Dimco?
I agree with that.
Yes, they're
Mhm.
super cool to play with. They're nice little fidgeties.
Yes, they
Those
are.
are super cool. I mean, I know like Saviti has one. It's called like the Super Lock, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
It goes by different names, but it's just kind of the knife with like a little lever that you pull down and it folds and opens. Those are really
And you can just
cool.
kind of like flick it up and down. It's a really easy open and close.
A trend that I think should end, fake Damascus. Fake Damascus. You know, not a big fan of it.
Yeah.
Comes off, it rubs off, you know, but it's up to each individual. If you like the fake Damascus, that's good with me, you know.
Mhm.
Let's see. You're up. Starter.
What's your knife pet peeve? Like, what do customers do that make you cringe?
Let's see. I think I have a few.
I would say, as y'all know, we ask you not to reach in the cases, and sometimes you like to.
Yes, that does happen, you know.
And not even that it like upsets any of us, it's just for your safety.
Yeah, that's a big one. I could so agree with that. I think another one, I think it falls under safety too. People who've never played with a butterfly knife before,
Yeah.
going straight to a live blade is real scary.
It
I
is
think,
scary.
especially for us, because there's a lot more technique that goes into butterfly knives than people at class, you know?
Or whenever people go to test the knife, so they kind of like run their finger on the blade and then they leave their skin all over the blade. At
Yeah.
least wipe it off. I'm okay with you testing like how
Yeah.
sharp it is, but just wipe it off.
Or when people like fake jerk like the knife, you know?
Yeah.
When people are like pretending like you're gonna stab you know? That's
Mhm.
not something. Honestly, that's a pet
Mhm.
peeve, a big one. There's like two things you don't do in a knife store: fake stabbing someone and yelling catch. If somebody in a knife store yells catch, don't catch it. It's probably a bad idea.
Definitely.
Let's see. Would you rather sell 1,000 budget knives or one expensive like Grail knife?
For the purpose of them, I would say one expensive Grail knife.
This knife for a person is better for you than 1,000 knives. Like for us individually, like I would love to sell 1,000
Right.
budget knives in a
Yeah.
day. That'd be great. But like at the end of the day, I think what makes me happy is when I make a good sale and like
Mhm.
somebody's really excited with their knives.
Mhm.
I think that's sweet. You know, knives are kind of cool. People underestimate how cool they are.
They are
so
pretty cool.
I enjoy the customers' reactions and what they're interested in. Yes, the more budget knives we sell, the more people we can get into the knife life hobby.
That is true.
That's true. It needs to grow. Should probably bleach all the display knives. You know what, Jared? That can be your job tomorrow.
Ooh. He doesn't work tomorrow.
That's your job Friday, Jared.
What's the weirdest non-knife thing you've had to help someone with at the shop? I would say not weird, but honestly really sweet. There's been a lot of like older people that come in asking for directions. I do think
Yeah.
it's really sweet. They just need some help, and I don't think it's weird. I think I'm completely okay with it. I'll stand outside and I'll point to the street signs and stuff.
Like I said, Halen's a really sweet smiley. Don't ask me for directions. I'm so directionally challenged. That's I do feel a sense of pride selling a CRK, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I did a good job. I could agree with that. Let's see, what's another? What's the reaction like when customers realize you know your stuff? It's a great question. This is a great question. You know, I feel like we get a little bit underestimated at the store just because we're younger females, which I understand. If I'm walking into a makeup store, I'm probably not going to walk up to a very manly looking man at the makeup store. So I get it, but I think the reaction, there's like 2 reactions we get. It's like really surprised, like, oh wow, like that's cool, or they don't believe us. Yeah. I think that's another one we get a lot is we'll say what we have to say, they'll take it with a grain of salt, and then walk up to like Brayden or Jared or Quinn and ask the same question, and then I think they're just a little bit more shocked when they're like, we get the same answer that we get.
I agree.
I think it is true, but you know what? Sometimes I understand why you walk up to the men. I think I do the same thing too. Yeah. Honestly, but we do know our stuff, so if you do have questions. We do. I mean, I've worked here for 4 years, so I know a little bit. Haylen's a real fast learner, and she's smart. Sometimes I ask her questions, so.
Especially when it comes to engraving, I'm an engraver. Yeah. So I can engrave pretty much everything.
We're here to help for sure, you know? Let's see, what's this one?
Yep. What's the worst cut you've ever gotten at the store?
I am so accident prone. I have a lot. What's your worst one? Do you have a?
Yeah, I would say whenever I was working the stock show, I think it was a Wednesday. I was working it by myself, and it had just gotten packed all of a sudden. And I was holding a knife, and I went to close it while I was trying to open a case for a different customer. And I closed it like right on my thumb, right in here. And it just started bleeding everywhere, but people were pulling me in all different directions, and I started like bleeding through the paper towel. That's probably the worst one.
Stock show is crazy, especially when you're by yourself. Yeah. I think the worst one I had this one pretty recently. I don't know if you can see the scar. Let's see. I doubt it. Anyways, there's a pretty big scar. I was taking a tag off of a Microtech stitch, and me not paying attention, I had the blade deployed and ripped it off and sliced right through my finger, and it bled and bled and bled. I had like a skin flap. I had to super glue it back down, but I've done that a few times.
You have. I remember.
An M-Tech got me right here in my finger. That hurt real bad. Fingers bleed a lot, which is kind of scary when you cut yourself. When customers cut themselves and they just stick their hand in their pocket. Oh my gosh. That's a knife ick pet peeve, I think. When customers cut themselves and stick their hand in their pocket, I'm like, it's okay. Yeah. It comes with the story, you know?
It happens. We'll clean it up, don't worry.
Yeah, we will. We gotcha. Which one of you is more likely to survive a horror movie and why? Me.
Why you?
I just like, you see how many knives I got on me?
It doesn't even have to mean the knives.
No, I think it's me. Honestly, since I'm the one talking, it's probably not going to be me. Who do you think would survive? Come on, guys. Haylin or Ava? Let's drop it in the chat. Who's going to win? Who's going to survive a horror movie?
Yeah, you can be tiebreaker. I think we could work to get...
It's definitely going to be me. It is. Saying all that, it's definitely going to be you. Let's see. Super glue on a finger cut is the goat of knife first aid. Yes, after it stops burning, that's so true.
See what Jared said. If it's too loud and would get caught.
Jared, not true.
I think it is a little true.
No. I would live so quick. Or die really quick.
You would live quick?
I would live quick. I would live quick, guys. Don't worry. Haylin. Okay.
Thank you. Who
are all these Haylin supporters in the chat? Come on.
That's my sister.
Oh. Just put one Ava in here. Come on.
There's an Ava, and that was my mother.
Thank you. I would survive. Maybe if Haylin and I were a team, we'd survive together.
Yeah, I think so.
Or we both died.
Or I could just push you out in it because
we're not friends right now. Not between today or tomorrow. It's okay. What's the next one we got going on?
What is your ultimate grail knife?
You got one?
Nope, you can go.
I have one. I'm gonna make Jared happy with this one. I think I would get a CRK, a small Sabenza with the box elder inlay, with the handle. That knife was so sweet. When we had it, I thought about buying it, but rent, But yeah, that's probably my dream knife that I would get,
I'm honestly really getting into the Bel Airs. I wouldn't say it's a Grail knife, but I think they're I think they're really nice, and they also have that MagnaCut steel on there. So
no, that's true. Who is pushing who over when we're getting chased? I'm a good person. I wouldn't push Halen over if we're getting chased in a horror movie. Would you push me over?
no.
Yes, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
You just said you would. No, we can't be friends anymore. Oh, this is a great question. Who's more likely to cry over a sad animal video during their lunch?
Her.
Me.
All the way.
Or Jared.
Or Jared.
I think Jared would. No, it's definitely me. Halen's a lot tougher than I am, I would say.
Ava Jared said, buy the next one. 675 is chump charge to someone like Ava.
Oh, no way, Jose. Not true, Jared. Gosh. Alrighty, is that one, did we just read that one?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see.
Is there any more?
Yeah, I think we have 2 left.
Oh.
Oh no.
Dropping
What
them.
knife do you think is ugly but everyone else loves? This is a good one.
I got a good one.
I think this is all up to, I will say we're not hating on any type of knife. It all falls under personal opinion for sure. But I think mine is the mini Crooked River by Benchmade. I mean, no, the full-size Crooked River, not the mini. I love the mini, just not the full-size. I like Benchmade knives in general, just the full-size Crooked River, not my cup of tea. I don't think it's super cute, you know?
Yeah, I would agree.
You
I would
agree?
say mine would be the Kershaw Leak, but the fish one. I've had a good amount of people want to buy that knife. I don't get it. I mean, good for them if they like it. Please, by all means, let that be your knife. I just don't like it.
The mermaid. That's a good one, the Boker mermaid.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, some people like it. You know, for some people, not flaming anybody or anything, some people like a good flashy knife. So, all to you, you know? I think it just kind of depends, you know. I guess it's like clothes, you know. There's some styles that, like, I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
So,
Have you ever been underestimated at the shop? How do you handle it?
yeah.
I think sometimes I would say a good thing to do would be underestimated. Yeah, it happens pretty frequently. You just kind of keep telling them what you know, and whenever you can kind of like second check it, like go look it up or something, be like, yeah, it is this right here. And so that kind of helps put them into the mood of, oh yeah, they were right, they do know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I do think we are girls, again, going back to the whole makeup scenario. You know, I think it just kind of depends. I'd like to take things with a grain of salt, you know. Seeing people, like, we'll say something and they say no and they try to check us and they end up proving themselves wrong, you know. Or they'll go and ask one of the boys at work and it's just the same thing. So I don't really take too much too personal unless they're just straightforward. Like,
Yeah.
my favorite thing is when, like, people walk into the door and we are like, hey, how are you doing? Welcome in. And they don't even acknowledge us and they will walk straight to one of the boys who's, like, putting out inventory, who clearly can't help you at the moment. Like, that's kind of like, okay, you don't like me, you know?
But there are other times where they do go straight for the girls
Yeah.
and they don't go for the boys at all.
Yeah.
So.
We do have some regulars that come in and they'll talk to us, you know?
Yeah.
I think it just takes a second. You know, you gotta break the ice.
I think it's 50-50. They'll either like the girls or the boys or don't care.
Yeah, it just kind of depends.
Everyone's
see.
different.
What knife brand do you always go back to? Kershaw.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really buy knives a lot for myself. I do know about knives, pretty good amount, but I don't really buy them for myself. So if I were to say, I don't know, my icky to say this, but my Cobra Tech has held up pretty nicely, honestly.
No, I will never take Cobra Tech Flame. I think Cobra Techs are pretty, like,
You think so?
mid there. They're a good beater knife, you know, they're not too expensive.
Yeah,
so.
I hear both. I hear that they're
Yeah,
good and that they're bad.
I
Yeah.
think it just depends, you know, some people who are buying Chris Reeves probably aren't gonna say they love their Cobra Tech. Just kind of depends. Let's see, don't flame me. The 940 Osborne you don't like?
No, I don't buy knives. I'm pretty good at like keeping my money.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, when I started the job, I didn't know that there was like different blades for different things, you know? I just thought knives were knives and stuff. Knives aren't really like my passion. I really do enjoy them. I love learning about them, but like Quinn and Sam, they're amazing with their knife knowledge. They know what they're talking about. They buy knives. They go to blade show and stuff. You know, this is more so like their hobby. They enjoy it so much. Kudos to them. But I definitely enjoy knives, just not to the extent that most people do. I do have a lot of knives. I have bought more knives than the average individual.
Yeah.
But
I spend my money on other things and not knives.
I will say, I think most of my money that I've made at House of Blades has gone back to House of Blades. I spend a lot of money on our Yeti products and like our other stuff. And I do have like cleaner and stuff for our knives, so it's just kind of the little things.
Yeah.
I mean, kitchen knives. I think I have more kitchen knives than I do regular knives. You know? I collected a few.
75 knives is crazy. It's like what? I think
Approaching 79. Good for you. That's awesome.
Sam and Quinn make their wives eat water soup so they can buy knives.
Jared's funny. Jared's funny. Sam and Quinn make their wives eat water soup so they can buy knives. That is true. I don't know how they buy the knives that they do, but you know what? They pay attention to like they pay attention to like knife drops, and I'm pretty sure they get good deals. You're over 400 in your count. Wow, that's insane. Good for you. If I had 400 knives, you know, I think it gets to a point. I think if I started focusing more on like the reeves and stuff, I think if I got my first reeve, you know, I think that's what kickstarts everybody into the deep dig of the knife world is getting a reeve, you know.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. Do you want to read the last one?
Sure. Be honest, how often do you sharpen your knives?
You want the honest answer?
Go for it.
Never, you know, which is kind of bad. I'll probably sharpen them once every 2 or 3 months, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, most of my knives, I don't have a lot of expensive knives. All the knives that I carry are more in like that mid-range, you know, more per se affordable. So I also, when like new people come in for being hired, I let them practice on my knives, you know, because we all have to learn somehow how to sharpen.
Yeah.
So, you know, I let our new guys practice on my knives just so they can get a feel for it and they won't feel bad if they mess it up, so.
I would say my knives, they can get dull if that's what you want to say dull will be, but not dull to where it's dangerous. But there's no point in taking off steel if you don't need to sharpen it.
Yeah.
It's just the life of that knife is gonna be a lot shorter.
That is true. It all just kind of depends. You know, my McKenna I use to open up all of our boxes, I'll probably run it back there like at least twice every 2 months, you know, at least once a month probably. I'll sharpen it every now and then, but
I strop my knives more than I sharpen them.
I could agree with that. It's more, or like fun fact, if you like take your knife and you rub it up against like denim jeans, that's also a pretty good strop. I wouldn't say do it all the time, but like a few passes on your pants for denim is a pretty good strop. So I'll occasionally, after opening a box, I'll like clean off my knife with my pants or something like that. Yeah. What's the smallest knife you've ever owned? I bought one of those Spyderco bugs one time as a joke gift. I didn't own it.
Those are tiny.
They're like
that big? Yeah.
Big. They're like the cutest little keychain knives. So I think that's the smallest one I think I've purchased. I've never really owned a super duper small knife or like a little Swiss Army when I was little, you know?
So I know my family and Christy have actually seen my really tiny knives, but I do have one opened. It's probably like that big, like the size of my fingernail here. And I made Christy sharpen it because it was pretty dull and I couldn't sharpen it. And she did pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Christy's amazing at sharpening,
yeah.
So she doesn't take a lot. So, I mean, we don't have any more questions, you know, so if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask, you know, we're here. If not, you know, I guess we'll let you go and y'all can enjoy the rest of your evening. If y'all have any more questions or any questions about knives or stuff that we do at the store, feel free to ask. We're here to help. If not, we can definitely catch you later, you know. Hopefully we get to talk to y'all again sometime.
People are typing.
Let's see. We're looking. We're hearing some things. We're hearing some things. I'll give y'all a few minutes. Do you have anything else? Do we want to touch base on any more of these questions? I know the live's over.
Do y'all want to see any of the knives again?
Yeah, is there any knife you want to see? If not, we'll let you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for sticking around and watching us for our first live. You know?
It was fun.
It was fun. Well, thank you.
No write-up this time. Oh my goodness.
Alrighty. Well, I appreciate all of y'all coming out and watching. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day.
What has been your craziest work experience at HOB?
Would you say? I will say, when I first started working here, about a month in, a homeless guy came into the store and was like, "Oh, it's so cold in here," and started taking his clothes off, which was a little frightening, but don't worry, he didn't get all the way naked. But I feel like that's probably one of my crazier experiences is we get a strange crowd sometimes.
I think I can't say my crazy experience.
Yeah, well, I hope y'all have a great rest of your evening.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Of course. Is it hard to keep up with inventory? Would you say so?
I think it depends on what it is, what brand it is, how many people have bought it, and what's going on with that.
When we have a lot of knives, sometimes they get mixed up in the drawer, and that's a scary thing when we're missing a box or something.
Yeah.
I will say that's a big one. But yeah. Alrighty.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Nope, I'm good.
Y'all have a great rest of your day.